Oh man, are you unearthed over there, Mike? Have you had enough snow? Are you living in an igloo at this point? Is your penguin
No.
getting you your toilet paper and essential items? Or I guess
Our
Leo could
penguin.
do that.
Oh, our penguin doesn't live here anymore. I kicked him out after he ate the last meatball pizza slice. I
Ugh.
warned him that there were rules in his house, and he just disobeyed them.
Is what he said on his way out, which is actually very offensive to you. Like, what a
I
piece
know.
of shit.
I know. Lucky for me, my phone has a translator, so I said, "Oh, I know what you said, buddy. Keep on waddling. Don't come back."
It's 2021. Can't hide anything, penguin.
I know. I hope the polar bears get
Where
you.
are you going to go, penguin? The polar ice caps are melting.
I know. He just gets there and he's like, "Oh no!" As like a can of beans floats by.
But yeah, if you're living in the eastern part of the United States, we're experiencing quite a bit of snow. Literally almost every day on my weather, it says snow. Granted, it's not a lot of snow. It's usually about an inch, maybe two. And honestly, it all like melts. Like, it snowed this morning. My girlfriend was so worried. She's like, please drive safe. I have a vehicle with 4-wheel drive. I'm fortunate. It was fine. I went to work. No big deal.
I was gonna say, if you have like four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, you should have no problem at all.
You know, I don't like to be the guy who doesn't like clean off their car and just drives and let it all, blow off. But I was that guy this morning. There's like an inch of snow on my car, and it was
Corey,
literally all powder. It just blew off.
Don't be that guy. I'm sending. I wish I could show this on the podcast. I'm sending you a video right now that I actually didn't look at this, and this is why it's sloppy, but I'm happy I did this. I was driving very carefully, and looking straight ahead, watching my surroundings, but I kind of just guesstimated where my phone was when I was recording this, and I recorded somebody because I just had, or I took a picture, or whatever, and just the amount of snow on top of his car was just obscene. I'm saying it to you right now. So to our listeners who can't visually see this, just imagine like a foot of snow on top of someone's car.
I feel like I'm in a different situation here, and I don't mean to defend my actions, but it literally was just, it wasn't that much snow, and I was worried about being late, so I'm like, you know what, I can tell that this is all powder, it's just gonna blow off. I feel you, though. It is dangerous,
It blew off on the driver behind you's windshield.
It probably did, because they went a different way.
And now they're in a ditch, Corey. How do you feel?
Well, I made it to work. I hope they're okay. I'll send them some flowers. A little card that says "Sawi."
Sawi. No, better yet, when they'll be like in a coma, and you can give them get better soon. They're not reading that. They're not reading that card.
Now it's just sinking in. Now I'm just like, oh my god. Now there's gonna be like 3 pieces of snow on my car, and I'm gonna get like a snowblower just.
Not let that happen again.
Never again. But besides, the accumulated amount of penguins and snowmen in the area, I had a pretty chill week. I didn't really do too much. Played a decent amount of video games. Got to sit down and record some with you. Got to sit down and record some with our buddy Abra.
Nice.
And besides that, I got 2 things to note here real quick. Number 1, some bad news. My debit card unfortunately got hacked through my bank account, which really sucks.
That's even worse when it's
like... And God bless me, out of who knows how many account numbers my bank has, but only 600 people got this hack. And guess who was one of the lucky 600 contestants? Well, that was Game Bro Corey right here. Hello. So my car, luckily I didn't lose any money. I should put that out up front. But I don't have a debit card. I've been down to debit card for the past few days. And it almost just feels like I don't have any money. Like, I just can't. I do have a credit card, but honestly, it's very charged right now, and I don't really like to use it unless in emergencies. So I use it like once or twice to buy gas or something, but other than that, like, I feel like helpless. Like I can't just go out and buy things, because I actually, funny enough, right before this happened, I had like a little list. Like I was gonna go to the store and pick up a few things. I was gonna get like some decorations for the apartment, and I think I forget what else I had on the list, but yeah, immediately I was like, oh well, I guess I'm not gonna go buy this stuff now because I can't. Guess I'll just go home. Maybe it's a good thing though. Maybe I'm saving a lot of money because I keep seeing deals on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, ooh, I should pick up that game. So who knows? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. But yeah. I don't have a debit card. Hopefully it will be here soon. Feels bad, man. But besides that, in good news, I guess, I for a while now, I really wanted to just like discover new music. I was getting like really tired of my Spotify playlist. I have two different ones. One is like basically how I did it is I have when I started my Spotify account, which was in like 2012, and then I think I cut it off at 2018. So that's like 6 years where I just kept adding to this big monster playlist that probably has like 600 or 700 songs on it. And I was like, a few years ago, I was like, well, I need to discover new music. So I made a new playlist, which I call like, I think it's 2019 to beyond, because I don't know when I'm going to want to create another playlist. But I was kind of like listening to that, and then I kind of just fell back into the old playlist with all the songs I was listening to pretty much when I was in like high school and a little bit into college. But I just felt like my music choices were a little stale. Not that I was like hating the music I was listening to, but I was like, I really should, like, I kind of want to branch out. I want to listen to some new stuff. So I ended up going on Spotify, and I just started listening to, basically if you go to like an artist on Spotify, you can kind of just like shuffle through all their songs and just listen to like their music. And I've been really enjoying that, especially I've been doing that while I've been working out. And normally when I worked out, I would listen to other people's podcasts. But I mean, I assume most people work out just listening to music. And it does actually like really help like the time go by, and also just like motivate me to like work out. Like I think podcasts were like too chill of an experience to me, where the music is like a little bit more like motivating, I guess, and energizing. But for the bands that I listen to, I wanted to shout out The Pillows, Anamanaguchi, and The Weeknd. I feel like a boomer, okay? Because me and my girlfriend last night watched The Weeknd's performance at the Super Bowl, which was really fucking cool. I really enjoyed it. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but we wanted to watch that performance. And I'm like, I heard a few of The Weeknd's songs before, and but now I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get into more of The Weeknd. And I'm like, well, now I feel like a boomer because I gotta listen. I'm listening to The Weeknd right after he did this performance at the Super Bowl, which I feel like is very generic, like media coverage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I did watch. Well, it's funny. That's part of my story for the week. But I did. I saw the aftermath of the halftime show performance, and it was I don't know, not my cup of tea. That's just my opinion. Again, I'll go into I'll let you finish your story. I'll go into more detail when I tell my story. Okay?
Well, what do you mean by that? I'm curious. What happened after the performance?
No, it's more so I never saw the performance. I had to watch it afterwards because I actually missed the second half of the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can just kind of roll into like what you did, because I mean that was pretty much the end of my story. I'm just gonna like keep discovering more bands because I'm kind of into this right now. I'm probably gonna end up like just making a playlist too, because a lot of bands like just have new or like bands that I'm into have new albums I just want to listen to. So I might just start making like little playlists so I can just pretty much play catch up essentially. But yeah, man, what'd you do for the week?
Well, first of all, can I recommend a band for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me.
I think you'd like them. For all I know, maybe you've already heard of them. Have you ever heard of Starset?
No. Is that just one word, Starset?
Yep, one word. And one of their cool songs I really enjoy is called Halo. Spelled just like the video game, but it has nothing to do with the video game. But yeah, check them out. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
I enjoy them.
Will do. Thanks.
So yeah, my weekend was a bit of a. So Saturday was just a day of like doing errands and chores. Like actually, Amanda and I were working on the kitchen, so I did all the electrical work in the outlets because the wiring in the house is still complete trash. So I was and I'm not an electrician, so I can only do so much. So I was replacing all the outlets and the switches in the kitchen, and with all all new, not appliances, just like new panels, new switches, and they're all white. The other ones are like dirty and beige colored. So now they're all nice and white, like they're just bright and clean,
brand new.
And and we painted the kitchen. We have white trim and like a French gray wall, which looks really nice. And then Amanda just got done finishing up the backsplash, which was brown, and it just didn't really blend well with the white and gray. So we made that like a very like ash color. So it's kind of like a white gray mix. And she found out on Pinterest or something or YouTube how to do this, where you make like a certain like paint yourself, and then you apply it, and it like, I guess, like, quote unquote, washes out the colors of the backsplash, but now it looks like as if it's like stained gray, and it looks really sharp. So that was nice. Then Sunday was mainly just me getting ready for the Super Bowl, and I went over to my brother's place to watch the game, and right before and I don't think the game was very impressive even early on. So the second half of the game, it sounds like I didn't miss much, but right before halftime, I had to rush home because I got a phone call from Amanda saying our dog. Cause Amanda took our dog to her parents' place just to hang out because she wasn't with me. She just doesn't really care for football. And apparently, Leo ate a face mask. He's a puppy, so he runs around, he chews things, he finds, So he is in the past has grabbed people's face masks out of purses and stuff, or off the table, and you gotta get it out of his mouth. But I was a little concerned at first because she just kind of texted me, Leo ate a mask, and I said like a face mask. She's like, yes, he just swallowed it whole. And I said, well, that's not going to be fun to pull out of his butt in a couple of days. And he's like, well, I'm taking him to the vet, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got concerned, thinking like, is it serious? Is he choking? Is he coughing? And then I said like, whatever. So I apologized to my brother. Said this is what's happening. I'm like, thanks for everything, but I have to run home and go to the vet. Leo, Leo's there because he ate a mask. So I was worried at first because I was actually concerned, like, oh my gosh, is Leo going to be okay? Because like I'm thinking like, oh, he's eaten like weird things before, like he's eaten like parts of his the chew toys and everything. And again, it all comes out in the end, but I was thinking, like, the fabrics for that whole mask, I don't know, maybe that would be kind of dangerous for that to be wrapped around his belly or whatever.
Possibly.
So, yeah. But we got there, and then but by the time I got home, he was fine. They already, they induced vomiting, and then he just vomited it out, So he's fine. So all the dog lovers out there who are listening, Leo is just fine. He's good to go. But I lost. I did not watch the halftime show or the second half of the Super Bowl because of this. But like I said, sounds like I didn't miss much. And I did miss the halftime show, which I heard was only really good just to understand what the memes were all about. Because then I saw Facebook just flooding with memes over the weekend.
Yeah, that's been blowing up, like him going backstage.
Yeah.
It was really crazy because I told my girlfriend that I saw a lot of that, and she's like, wait, what? And I'm like, hey, you haven't seen any of the memes of him, like, going backstage, like, in that, like, room of mirrors and lights?
Yeah, that labyrinth, whatever. It's pretty funny. Like, some of the... Oh, man. I think one of them was, like, stumbled into Narnia or something like that. It's just... Oh.
I don't even know, like, were there any notable trailers? I mean, when I was pulling the stories, everyone kept talking about, I guess there was a trailer for the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier or whatever.
Oh, for the commercials?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, apparently there's been a lot of controversial and, like, political commercials, which I think, are kind of annoying when you're trying to watch a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
I like it when the commercials are supposed to be funny. And there were a few funny ones. The one with Will Ferrell, I thought was pretty funny. They did have a trailer for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I thought was gonna be a movie. I didn't know it was gonna be a TV show. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else? If there was, I missed the entire second half of the.
I got nothing. Show, I'm just shrugging. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only other thing I saw is that I guess Reddit had some sort of trailer, kind of like pointing out like the GameStop stock stuff, and I was like, ad or commercial. I keep saying trailer, and I was like, how did they even get it? Like, I'm surprised they got that one up there super quick.
That's pretty funny.
Again, though, I didn't watch it, so I don't know what it's about. But
yeah, definitely not the best Super Bowl. And again, even like performance-wise, like it was just like a landslide to the Bucks. It was like they just dominated, and it's it makes me like reflect because again, like we're from the like close to the Philadelphia area, and I'm currently in Philadelphia. I look back on our the Super Bowl from was it 3 years ago already, and I guess technically 3 Super Bowls ago, and that was such a great performance against like the Eagles versus Patriots. Like that was like a back and forth game, and it came down to literally the last play of the game when I think it was like I think Brady bombed like a Hail Mary down the field, and they didn't catch it, and we were ahead. So then that's how we won the game. And I just remember going nuts. Like that's the kind of Super Bowl that I want to watch. Like, and I know because the Eagles were playing and we won, that's probably made it more exciting. But like that's what I like watching. This one was very very bland to say the least.
My favorite part of when the Eagles won the Super Bowl is when the people of Philadelphia literally broke out in riots on the street and set cars on fire.
Yeah, they tried to. I think preemptively, they tried to grease up the light posts and everything. That didn't stop them. they still climbed up the light posts and everything. I wasn't downtown. I was like, we went to like in like a. To the main street where my neighborhood was, and and there's people out there. It was fun, but yeah, I could not even imagine being downtown. I knew it was gonna be worse than when the Phillies won the World Series because like even that was like pretty destructive.
Why does that happen? Like, what are these people fucking doing? I don't get it. Why are you like, yeah, we won, let's go destroy shit? Like, what? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Can't you just be weird. Happy and be like in your home, like, woo, we did it, and like maybe go out in the streets and yell? But like they go out in the streets and destroy.
It's possibly just because it's Philadelphia. I mean,
yeah, what's wrong with them?
I don't know.
I'm from here. I don't get it.
I don't know, man. We're also the same city that killed that we kill robots too. I mean, have we ever talked about TravelBot on here before?
Oh. You talk about TravelBot before I bring up.
We did, yeah.
No,
bring it up. That's proof. That's proof.
That?
Like, we did talk about it.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, I thought we did.
I don't think so. We'll bring it up again.
Gosh. Okay. Well, if those of you who don't know, there was the TravelBot or the hitchhiking robot was actually a robot. I think it was like a European project.
Okay, I actually remember this now.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. So just to remind people, TravelBot didn't make it out of Philly. So now the whole world knows that we're just destructive idiots,
There's also, I don't remember what year this was, but I remember me and my girlfriend looked this up. Wasn't like, I don't know what event this was for, but Philly definitely booed Santa Claus or some shit like that.
Oh, when he was, I think
that's like an infamous story.
I think it was the parade where he was like parading downtown in Philly, whatever, and I think people were booing him and throwing stuff at him. I think they were throwing fish at him. I think it was fish.
Why?
because
why
Philly
hurt Santa?
I gotta look at this. I gotta look it up again. With Philly boos Santa.
What is Mike? What are they putting in the water in there? Like, are you guys okay?
It's probably Sambuca. I
don't know. Oh man.
Yeah, I think I want.
It was. If you go to Philly and you drink from the tap, just be careful because the tap is at least 2% alcohol.
Yeah, buy a bottled water. Don't drink from the hose.
And who knows what else is in there, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I don't hate Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. There's great stuff in that city. I just am baffled when I see things like that, like when they won the Super Bowl. Like, I don't understand why those jackasses go out in the streets and like destroy things. Like, I don't get it. That's the thing that makes me like scratch my head and get mad over what, like, oh, your team won the, I don't know. I don't want to get into sports because I know people like sports. I don't really care for sports. I don't get the whole like, oh, it's a team, I got to stand behind it. I don't, we don't have to get into this. It's a whole thing. I just don't get it.
All right.
I don't get it. No hate, but I don't get it. I feel like I had another point, but I lost it.
You were just so infuriated by Santa Claus being booed.
What did Santa Claus... They're just mad because he brought them coal. He probably brought all the people in...
Yeah, he heard what they did to travel by. He's like, "Oh, you're getting cold this year," and they're like, "Oh yeah, well you're getting booed, Santa." And he's like, "Oh,
They threw
no,
the cold
please."
directly back at him, and then Santa's like, "Oh, I should have gave him pillows."
Should give him ice cream. I wouldn't mind throwing ice cream at me.
With that being said, hello everyone, and welcome to the Level With Me podcast. I am one of your low energy hosts, Game Bro Corey. I think I'm the only low energy host. And I'm joined once again by my co-host Mike, aka the Collector's Vault. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good, Corey. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Level With Me. It appears that because Corey's so out of energy, I have to remind everybody this is episode 83 of the Level With Me podcast.
Oh, did I not say the title number?
Man,
there you go.
I have to do your job now, Corey. Gosh.
I mean, if you want, I can just send you download OBS. Make sure you update these certain features. I'll send you the YouTube video. All right, now check IGN, and you got to scroll through all the stories and pick a few that you find interesting. Okay. All right, you taking notes? Then you also need to get your additional notepad, and then you write down kind of like the layout of the. Okay, this is going way too behind the scenes, too inside.
To be fair, I wasn't even paying attention. I'm saying I'm not doing this crap.
That's fine. You just turn on the mic and hope to God that I press the record button.
It's true. I really hope you did it like about 20 minutes ago. I really hope you pushed that record button.
But yes, guys, it's Tuesday. It's episode 83, as Mike pointed out. It's just us two. No special guests. Maybe some more in the future. Ooh. Ah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Abra, is that you?
But for now, we're here today. I might be a little low energy, but I'll give it my all. Because gosh dang, I love this podcast and I love you, listener. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy my stupid antics or Mike's witty humor. But anyways, we got some stories to tell or talk about. That's what we do. That's the first segment of the Level With Me podcast. We go over video game and other media, like nerd and geek stuff, like related to series and movies and stuff like that. But it's mostly about video games. I have one quick story here about DC movies. I thought it was kind of interesting. Also being a little bit memed. Jared Leto, Justice League Snyder Cut, Joker fully revealed. There's not much to this article and it doesn't play well on an audio-only podcast, but I guess for the Snyder Cut of Justice League, there are some reshots being done, and there are some new characters and costume designs coming in. And what I take from what I read about this article and this photo is, I guess they're almost making the prequel of Jared Leto's crazy Joker from the Suicide Squad, where he had damaged on his forehead and the metal teeth and all that crazy stuff going on. Well, now he kind of looks more Heath Ledger-esque, like Heath Ledger Joker specifically.
I was gonna say
his hair is very long and kind of greased and slicked back. He's got the smeared red lipstick around his lips, and it's all messed up. And he's got, of course, the white makeup on and kind of the shadows around the eyes. His outfit is kind of interesting. It almost reminds me of a Hannibal Lecter type thing, or maybe what are those? Are they called straight jackets? Those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the straight jackets for people in the insane asylums or something. That's kind of what I was getting from that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I thought we'd do a little Joker update on here. Shoutouts to Mega64. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I am looking forward to the Snyder Cut. I'm not sure how much you know about that, but I really do want to see it. I'm interested. It's supposed to be really, really long too. But more importantly, I had no idea that the Joker was even going to play a role in that movie. So I'm pretty excited to see that they're going. I mean, I actually haven't seen Suicide Squad yet. I mean, I've heard many bad reviews about it, but I still want to watch it just for the sake of it because it looked kind of cool. But if they're going to try to incorporate that universe into the Justice League universe, then I think it's pretty cool that they are going to incorporate the Joker. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to turn out. So I'm pretty excited.
I'm just going to say I don't really have a horse in this race. I didn't watch the original cut of the Justice League movie. I don't really have a lot of attachment to the DC films. I feel like they're kind of like messing up their DC universe, if you will. They're trying to like...
they are. Yes.
They went too gung-ho. They're trying to catch up with Marvel. They should have like paced it out. They definitely don't make all bad movies. I really enjoyed the first Wonder Woman. I really liked the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix that came out a few years ago. I don't want to poo-poo on all DC films. But this seems interesting. And I do want to say that I did enjoy Jared Leto's very brief Joker appearances in Suicide Squad. I know it's a very different Joker, and maybe people didn't care for like the look of him, but I thought he did an okay job at his time being Joker, and I think maybe he could have elaborated on that more, and that could have been more interesting. And again, this is just interesting to me. I wonder if they're just going to make him like almost straight up like the Heath Ledger Joker, or maybe like somewhere in between that and what he was kind of doing with the damaged Joker, or whatever you want to call that. But this is cool.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think because they realized that the Suicide Squad Joker maybe had some charm to it, but I think they realized that the Heath Ledger look is just more popular and more effective. That's probably why they are leaning more towards that with this look. We'll see what happens.
You know, honestly, he even has like a little bit of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker going on too, because even that version had like the slicked back hair, kind of like that as well. So
yeah, almost like a much more realistic take on what the Joker is.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But now we're gonna transition back to video games. Everyone's favorite. Yeah. Get hype. Get excited.
Oh, I love video games.
Don't we all? And who doesn't love E3? And guess what, guys? E3 will happen in 2021 as a digital event. The Entertainment Software Association has confirmed that E3 2021 will happen as a digital event. In a statement to IGN, the ESA has confirmed the return of one of the biggest video game conferences after its cancellation in 2020 due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. We can confirm that we are transforming the E3 experience for 2021 and will soon share exact details on how we're bringing the global video game community together, a spokesperson from the ESA said. We are having great conversations with publishers, developers, and companies across the board, and we look forward to sharing details about their involvement soon. This news follows a report from VGC in which E3 2021 pitch documents sent to game publishers have outlined the proposal that would see 3 days of live stream coverage from the previously announced dates on June 15th to 17th, 2021. The plan includes have multiple 2-hour keynote sessions from game partners, an award show, a June 14th preview night, and other smaller streams from game publishers, influencers, and media partners. Influencers, you say? Who do I have to hit up for Level With Me to make a spot on E3 2021's digital event?
Maybe we'll get our own panel.
That'd be pretty sick.
It would be pretty sick, actually.
We should just go on there and talk about like our favorite SNES game and be like, I hope they're making new SNES games this year. It's been a minute.
I honestly think if we just go and just kind of talk about the stuff that we talk about, we'll have some people gather around us.
We should just talk about like pizza in general. Of course, the meatball pizza has to be talked about, but yeah.
I think if we just have a poll and then we just have like a big kind of like a big voting booth and it just says what's your favorite pizza, and then people can just like vote on what their favorite pizza is. The line would be out the door.
Guys, we here at Level With Me have virtual pizza and we want you to experience it. But
I also just can't wait to virtually try out all these new games there. I don't know how that's going to work. But
that would also be interesting. Yeah, honestly, though, I'm happy to see E3 return. I don't know really what this is going to look like. I just assume it's going to be like what happened last year, where I would assume Microsoft and Sony and hopefully Nintendo will just have some sort of like video conference. Like they'll do it themselves around that time or close to it. Specifically Nintendo, what the heck are they doing? When are they going to announce games?
I saw.
It's almost halfway through February. What do we got? Pokemon Snap, the new Mario or the re-release of Super Mario 3D World comes out like on Friday. What do we got?
Monster Hunter. You got Monster Hunter too. That's also coming out.
I guess, but that's
to be fair. We actually do have a couple games coming up, but yes, I want news. I want news.
I want
on
Nintendo Switch exclusive, Nintendo first party IP developed. All the buzzwords, get them out there.
I saw a meme earlier today, and it actually brought a tear to my eye. And it was a quote from Shigeru Miyamoto with Shiggy just smiling, and it says, and I quote, "A delayed game is good eventually, but Metroid Prime 4 will never come out."
Ah!
And I was like, "No!"
Oh.
I laughed, and then I cried, and I cried some more.
Yeah, I pretty much did the exact same thing. I laugh outside, my insides, yes, pain.
Gosh darn it.
Speaking about a delayed game, hey, Cyberpunk should have got delayed. Anywho,
yeah.
CD Projekt Red suffers cyber attack. Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 source code stolen.
Oh,
they have not caught a break since the release of Cyberpunk, from the bashing of obviously the horrendous ports on the PS4 and the Xbox One, to all the different patches that are basically not doing anything, to that post or the video a few weeks ago where the developer or like one of the head developers like threw all the QA people under the bus, like saying, oh, none of them caught any of these bugs. Like, bullshit, man. How did no one catch the N64-esque graphics on the base PS4 and Xbox One? I digress. Anywho, CD Projekt Red has been the victim of a targeted cyber attack in which hackers claim to have stolen internal documents and the source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher, and more. The company announced the attack on Twitter, noting its internal systems have been compromised and that the hackers have left a ransom note. The ransom note was released to the public alongside the announcement and claims that the hackers have dumped full copies of the source codes for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3, presumably the next-gen edition coming later this year. The hackers also claim to have access to all the company's documents related to accounting and administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. Oh boy, that is stuff you do not want them to have. I mean, the video game stuff is one thing, but yikes. The ransom note ends by noting that CD Projekt Red has 48 hours to contact the hackers, or your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter, and even more, and people will see how you shitty your company functions. That's weird. That's how it's written on IGN or in the thing. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. I mean, that guy who wrote the ransom note, he's not 100% wrong. I want to say I saw on Twitter that they did announce that they were not going to like negotiate with these like cyber terrorists or whatever you want to call them. Also, yeah. I just want to point out, even though I think it's humorous that this happened to CD Projekt Red, this is not okay. Like, this is a shitty thing to do.
I mean, I'm sorry. I had to like turn off my mic because I was just laughing at the absurdity of this.
Exactly.
And I agree. Like no one deserves this.
Yeah.
Maybe EA, but no one else deserves this. But like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. The fact is, like, it's so bad.
And like, go ahead.
No. I have a story, but here, please continue.
All I was gonna say is, like, you don't think that these like people already have enough on their goddamn plates? Like, these poor workers are like busting their asses now trying to get these, you know, the game like patched and like running well. Not to mention they're probably working on the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of the game of Cyberpunk 2077, as well as obviously other updates. The article even mentioned they're making a version of Witcher 3 on the current gen consoles or whatever. And then this thing has to happen. Like, I mean, it's essentially, basically, I'm right there next to CD Projekt Red because it's basically the hacker group that attacked my bank account that tried to take my data. So, full circle. What was your story you were going to say?
I was gonna say, like, it reminds me of when, my engineering firm is currently employed by Merck, the pharmaceutical company, and I'm sure people might have known they had a bit of a cyber attack issue before as well. And I just started laughing because basically there was like a ransom where the guy said like, "I'll stop doing this if you." I think it was for money. He obviously was asking for money, and I was laughing again at the absurdity because how he hacked wasn't like the part that I found that I found like obscure or ridiculous. It was more like the fact that he contacted somehow he contacted like Merck as a whole and threatened them and said, "I'll stop doing what I'm doing if you give me money." It's like, how is this guy getting away with this? Like, how is this happening? Like, how is he completely like, I don't know. I guess it made me think, like, how did they not just like triangulate where he is from that phone call he made or wherever he sent the email from? You'd think they would, with all their resources, they'd be able to find out who did it and track him down. And even with something like this, like, I feel like how do you? Well, in this situation, it's more like, how did you hack them? But besides that, it happened. How did like, just, I don't know. I feel like how are they like not tracking down these people? That I guess maybe I sound very ignorant and stupid for asking that question. I feel like how are they getting away with this? Is what I'm saying. Now, granted, it just happened. Maybe they won't get away with it and they won't get caught. But it's just the absurdity that this is happening. And yeah, it's not okay. Like, I really hope people don't think, cool. Like, so now this is the answer to when you don't like something. Oh, you just destroy the company. You know, like, yeah, just hack their system and threaten to leak their, you know, very private information and everything. Like,
yeah, this is definitely not okay. And you know, previously we even covered like. A few months ago, there was like some sort of like cyber attack like this to Capcom, and we learned like all their upcoming projects for the next few years. And I honestly kind of like look back on that and almost felt like a little bad because like that was literally the hackers or whatever these cyber terrorists got that information. I was like, should we have covered that? I don't know if that was a good story because it's kind of like, you know, they're doing. But yeah, this is like shitty overall. Like whatever. This shouldn't be encouraged. This is a horrible thing. And yeah, you know, all that, like, it. Forget about the game's like source codes and all that. That's, who cares about that? It's mostly the like legal stuff, like the accounting.
It's just a print. Yeah, it's just, and it's also just the principle of the fact that it happened. You know.
Yeah. Like
people on Reddit trying to screw the hedge fund people by doing legal actions like buying stocks. That's one thing and hysterical, but this is just completely terrible. Like, yeah, I'm laughing at the absurdity. People, just please don't think I'm not a bad person. I'm laughing because it is just ridiculous.
His only ransom is he's like, can I have the beta access to Witcher 4? And they're like, what?
And they're like, no, just take the source code. We don't care anymore. we're not giving you that.
I want a functional version of Cyberpunk, the one you promised years ago.
And they're like, we can't give you what we don't have. Terrible.
Hey, you mentioned E3 or EA, excuse me. There's too many E's in these news stories. I
know.
But we got a story. We got a story about EA. Anthem's next future depends on EA's upcoming internal review. The fate of Anthem hangs in the balance depending on how an internal review of the reboot goes. That's according to a new report which says there is a chance EA expands the Anthem Next team or shelves the game altogether. In a new report from Bloomberg, EA executives will review the latest version of Anthem Next later this week. Depending on how the project is progressing, EA will continue to back and grow the Anthem Next team or abandon the project. Anthem Next was set to be a redo of sorts for Anthem, BioWare's live service action RPG, which quickly lost traction with players. BioWare handed Anthem to BioWare Austin, which specifically works on live projects like Star Wars: The Old Republic. This really like upsets me because I think Anthem had a lot of potential. And I honestly was really hoping to actually get into Anthem with this redo or Anthem Next, whatever they end up calling it, because I checked out a few of their little like updates that I think they posted on like their Twitter or blog about like what they're doing to make Anthem like a overall like better game. And I was like, yeah, like I want Anthem to like be re-released and like have a bigger pop, because a lot of these like live service games, I'm looking at like Destiny, The Division 2, whatever, like they usually end up pretty well. And I think, like I said about Anthem, it had a lot of interesting stuff going on. Like all the, like, I forget what the name of the suits, the armor suits were, but you could like, they could all like fly around kind of like Iron Man style. And each of the 4 had like unique, they were all basically like different types of classes. I think Anthem seems super interesting. And it'd be really sad if they would abandon the project altogether.
I can agree with that. Again, I never want to see even I don't want BioWare to fail. That's how I look at it. Like, I also do agree. I did see a lot of potential in Anthem, because again, like visually the game was incredible, and the gameplay appears to be fun. Like I saw a lot of. It's funny. There's actually like an ad right here for Destiny, but that's kind of what I thought of. I'm like, oh, this reminds me a lot like Destiny. So why wouldn't this game work? But obviously, the gameplay just didn't pan out. I don't know.
Also, I like seeing new IP. Anthem seemed like a cool new IP. It seems like a game that they could just continue to make like sequels down the road and just keep expanding it and making it bigger and better.
Yeah, I agree. Again, that's where the potential came from. They could have really expanded upon this if it ever took off. It just never did.
And come on, like EA has got a ton of money, man. You're telling me they can't just pump a little bit more into this team for, like, why not just support a game? Like, they put a lot of work into it to begin with.
I don't know all the facts. I don't know all the facts, but I remember like they basically stopped supporting it really early on because of the negative reception it got early on. It was kind of like they just said, please, people who are listening to this on YouTube, please comment down below if you know the true story. But like, it wasn't because it had poor reception when the game first came out, despite the hype. Like it had a lot of hype, but then apparently the game just kind of fell flat on its knees, and then I think I heard that they just abandoned support for it. Is that what happened?
So from what I understand, I don't think people were necessarily thought it was a bad game. They just thought a lot of the like systems in there weren't that. It was like a mixed game, I would say. Like some people saw potential, some people might have thought it was like empty. From what I hear, there wasn't a lot of content in the base game. And basically, what you're probably thinking of is when this game released, they had a roadmap of like the next content they were going to add to Anthem, like a little roadmap of basically like little expansion packs that might have been paid, might have been free. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I don't know if it was because of like glitches or bugs that the game had, but they basically were like, okay, this roadmap of the new content we have to put on hold because we need to like fix the game. And I think that's what they've been doing. Like they need to make the core of Anthem like work differently. I believe that's the story. But again, if people in the comments want to say the like actual true story and correct us, by all means, go right ahead. You could even send us an email at levelwithmepodcast@gmail.com or send us a question to talk about this at our Instagram at levelwithmepodcast on Instagram,
Indeed. Yes, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you guys, because then we learn and you'll learn as well. Maybe.
Speaking of big robot mech suit men with guns, unannounced Halo game seemingly in development. A new Halo game is seemingly in the works if the recent Microsoft job listing is anything to go by. The producer job posting, which has been advertised on the Microsoft Careers website since February 6th, reveals that Halo series developer 343 Industries is working on a new entry in the Halo franchise. The listing states that 343i is looking to hire a producer to help develop a new project in the Halo universe, which presumably signals that the new employee would not be working on Halo Infinite. You know what? I didn't read this article completely when pulling the story. By all means, I think that means it could be for Halo Infinite. Obviously, that's a big game, and it's going to be an ongoing game. The title of the game is literally Infinite. They're going to support it after it comes out for probably a few years. So
I actually never thought of that before. This could just be like for like the lifespan of the Xbox Series X. Halo Infinite would just be like the platform for Halo.
And they're going to put Halo Infinite on PC, you know, they're gonna support this game for a while. I think it's even coming out on like Xbox One. Like it'll work on those platforms. So all I'm gonna say with this story is take it with a grain of salt. It's a maybe. Maybe they're making a new Halo property. And what would that even be? Is that a new, like, almost like a ODST, like maybe a little spin-off game? Is that like a Halo Wars, like, sequel? Well, I know they made, like, I think 2 Halo Wars, so maybe a third or something like, I don't know. You can start, like, theorying what they might do.
Yeah. Halo Wars is interesting. I mean, that was like an RTS game based on just the Halo universe.
Yes.
And it looked pretty fun because I do like those kinds of games. But
I remember when Halo Wars came out, and there was a special edition, and for some reason it came with like a map pack. Like if you bought the special edition of Halo Wars, you got like a map pack pre-release or for free for Halo 3, and I was like, I just want those Halo 3 maps. I think they were all like remakes of like Halo 2 and Halo 1 maps. So I was like, I'll just buy the special edition. They got me. It's extra like $30 too. I think Halo Wars is cool. I personally don't think RTS games work that great on consoles. I'd rather play an RTS on a PC where you can kind of like free move your mouse and control your units a little bit better. Like StarCraft is the shit on PC. I love StarCraft, but that's not the art or the story we're talking about here. I think a new Halo Wars could be cool. I think a new Halo anything would be interesting. Like, just make it something that's not a first-person shooter. Even a third-person shooter, I think, could be interesting.
Yeah, technically, it could be like some kind of like, you know, like top-down view strategy game. I know that sounds just like just like Halo Wars
or something.
Sure,
that could be cool.
Again, yeah, because obviously, like, you know, Halo Wars has like the StarCraft like gameplay style going for it, which is fine. But then, yeah, go for something else. Like maybe even make a game similar to GameStop, similar to the gameplay of like maybe Fire Emblem. You know, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of neat.
That would actually be pretty cool.
I think that might be leaning more towards the Halo Wars again. But like, I don't know. Maybe I think there could be a lot of charm for something like that.
All right.
Maybe like a. I'm sorry. I'm going too crazy. Let's go to the next topic or the next story.
Okay, so hear me out, guys.
I'm listening.
It's called Halo Party. You got Master Chief, Arbiter, Sergeant Johnson, Cortana. They can add other characters. You know, there's probably a Flood guy in there, and they all run around a board. They punch a dice to move. They get candy that give them power ups, and then after each round, they have to play a mini game together, and whoever wins gets coins. And you're all collecting the coins to buy a Halo, let's say.
And let me guess, the player with the most Halos gets to destroy the universe.
Now you're catching on, yeah.
Yes, I know it. Sounds awesome.
Also,
I'm down for this.
Also, there's an attachment for the Xbox controller that makes the thumbstick more like a N64 thumbstick. So you need to get blisters when you play the game. It's like it's kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's a out of game experience. Like, you know how people always wanted like smell-o-vision? Well, now you like feel the like intenseness of the mini games with this additional attachment to your controller.
Does it come with a free bag of Cheetos? That way you can get the controller just covered in orange cheese.
I believe so, but you can only get that version through GameStop.
Oh, well, that's not going to last much longer.
Yeah,
not at these stock prices.
Who knows? By all means, GameStop could be like Walmart in a few years. Like, the stores are just huge.
Yeah,
and they're all full of Funko Pop and T-shirts.
GameStop just buys Amazon because the stock shoots up. Like, Reddit makes the stock shoot up so high that GameStop just buys Amazon, and then they're back on top. I, for one, welcome our GameStop overlords.
I can't wait for GameStop to buy Amazon, which would mean that GameStop would own Twitch, which would mean, like, you know, what crazy nonsense would they do on there? All the ads would be for GameStop. You'd have to be a power-up pro player. That's what the like subscriptions would be called, or I don't know. I
actually forgot that Amazon owned Twitch. I totally forgot about that.
Hey, you know what you might find in a GameStop near you very soon? Sonic the Hedgehog's Green Zone to become a Lego set. This kind of coincides. A few weeks ago, it was the week you unfortunately had to miss, Mike. We actually had a story talking about some cool concepts for Metroid Legos, where there was like a kind of like small full-scale version of Ridley, and there was like Samus. I can send you the article after the podcast. It was pretty interesting and cool. But that was just a concept. I believe this is official. An official Sonic the Hedgehog set will be released thanks to the fan design that gained traction online through the LEGO Ideas program. UK-based LEGO builder Viv Granell Sonic Mania Green Hill Zone design has been greenlit by the LEGO Group and will be produced and sold in collaboration with Sega. No release date has set for the design, as it will only now begin product development with Sega's input, but it will eventually be released worldwide. You can see the concept image for the set below, and I will describe it the best I can. There's, of course, a very iconic Sonic loop. The brick set looks very much like Green Hill Zone. You got like that, like kind of like dirt and the two different colors of dirt, and then the green grass. There's like the flowers, and there's like a ring. There's a bunch of little animal critters around. There's some no good robots. There's like a 1-up or whatever you call that. The little thing with the Sonic.
The little monitors. Yeah.
Sonic.
To be fair.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll say, to be fair, this actually looks amazing. I do look. It reminds me of the Mario ones. Yeah.
Sonic, he is just like the Lego minifigure, and I believe he has a Chaos Emerald, even though it looks very weird.
It's actually, it was funny because I only know this because the two robots you see on the left and the right are actually from Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
So that is actually, this is just me because I know this one game. It's called a Phantom Ruby. It is not a Chaos Emerald. It's kind of like the whole plot story of that game. So.
Okay. You
were close. I would say calling that a Chaos Emerald. I honestly, it might as well be, but it's called the Phantom Ruby.
Okay.
So. For all you Sonic fans out there, now you know.
I also didn't notice this initially, but there's like a cool little like bridge over water. I kind of like the look of that. That's neat.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And then like the big piece of this whole like concept set is there's a cool like big Eggman mech. I'm sure this is probably directly from one of the levels of Sonic, but it's neat.
Yeah. I also see a spring. It's kind of hidden. It's like right near Robotnik's his left knee, whatever. Yeah, there's definitely a spring there. I, for one, like this a lot. I think it's pretty neat.
I was gonna
just as like a collectible. I'd love to just have this like in my room. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm all for more video games just becoming Legos. I think that like Super Mario like Lego stuff looks cool. One day maybe I'll get it, but it's neat. I think it was cool too how they even like turned into like a little game and made like the Mario like a little like electronic like toy.
Yeah.
I even really thought that Lego NES that came out was really cool, even though it was like hell of expensive and pretty much just became like a collector's item. But that was really cool.
I saw
more of this is always approved. And last but not least, here we have two minor Nintendo related stories. Guys, you all know it. Here at Level With Me podcast, we love Nintendo and Nintendo news so much, we like to always save it for last. Now, like I said, we don't have any like real Nintendo news. We have Nintendo adjacent news. So, more or less for, hey, do you got a Switch? You want some new stuff coming to your Switch? Well, the Level With Me podcast is going to deliver for you. First of all, Apex Legends coming to Nintendo Switch in March. Apex Legends is coming to Nintendo Switch on March 9th. Developer Respawn announced. Director Chad Grenner wrote in a blog post that the Switch version of Apex Legends will launch with cross-platform functionality, Season 8 content, and full feature parity with other versions. Excuse me. I think that's great. I just want to say Apex Legends is a hell of a game. Personally, my favorite Battle Royale. I love that there's cross-play. I love that this is literally just going to be up to date with all the other versions. Good news all around.
Heck yes.
And this is a free-to-play game, guys. So if you need a new first-person Battle Royale game to check out on your Switch, give this a go.
Yeah, it's kind of like Fortnite, right?
Pretty much.
Similar to it, yeah.
Little different, but similar. And then last but not least, another short new release story. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, but most importantly, Switch in March.
That's pretty cool.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is making its way to all the consoles I just mentioned following its 2020 debut on PS4 and Xbox One. Activision developer and Toys for Bob have announced that Crash 4 will be releasing on these platforms on March 12th and a PC release via Battle.net, that's interesting, sometime later this year. The PS5 and Xbox Series X versions will run natively at 4K 60 FPS, while the Xbox Series S version will run at 60 FPS with upscale to 4K. These next-gen versions will also include faster loading time. Okay, we're talking about the Switch here, guys. Come on, IGN, get your story straight so we can get this stuff more certain.
Yeah, seriously, come on.
I don't think it actually really goes into how the Switch version is going to run. I will say this, though. The Switch version is going to be available for pre-order now, and it is only $39.99, which is pretty cool.
That is very nice.
I haven't played any of the Crash games ever. I did hear that this is actually a great new Crash game, and I did want to pick this up at some point. So again, another cool story. If you need new games to play, there you go.
Yeah. It's sad. I'm in the same boat as you. I just never got into Crash. I remember, I think my cousin had the PlayStation, and he loved Crash. So I'll play it over his house, but the game just never stuck with me. I did enjoy the Crash racing game and Crash Bash. They were just fun games. But the Crash Bandicoot series, the actual main platformer games, yeah, I'm just not one of those fans. It's a shame. And I really do want to give the series a shot. I know the rebooted the Insane Trilogy is available. Maybe I'll get that and just give it a shot.
I feel like were you done with your thought? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do that, and then maybe I'll move on to Crash 4 because again, I hear nothing but good things about those games. So I'm done.
I was just gonna say that I feel like forever ago I alluded that I was gonna start a Let's Play of that Insane Trilogy because I also never played them. But I'm pretty much in the same boat you are. Yeah, I want to get into Crash. I think Crash is a cool character and it's a cool series. I feel like I would like those games. One day I want to check out the Insane Trilogy as well as Crash 4. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's gonna wrap up the news for the week. It's a pretty short week.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
But now we are going to move on to our second segment of the podcast where we talk about what we've been watching and playing over the past week. Do you want me to go first, Mike, or do you want to go first?
If you don't mind, I feel bad. I've had a really rough week with work, so I don't have much to say. So if you don't mind, I can go first.
By all means, go for it.
I'll just get it out of the way. So what I've been watching this week is I really haven't watched anything new. I didn't get a chance to really watch any of the shows that I've been trying to watch. Again, I mentioned I was watching Snowpiercer, and I did try watching Turn, Washington Spies, and Disenchantment. I would say they're probably the three new shows I've been watching, and I really didn't even get a chance to watch any of them this week. It's just been because I've just been coming home so late and going to bed.
I get that, man.
Yeah, so unfortunately, on what I've been watching, not much, unfortunately. What I've been playing, I will say that I have been playing a bit more of I guess this counts, but Hearthstone. I think I mentioned this game before.
Ooh.
And Corey, I know you're familiar with it. I mean, I play it every single day, on my phone. Like when I go to work in the morning, and we have that 5 or 10 minute before our big meeting starts. I'm always on my phone just playing because I'm at my desk. It's like a WebEx meeting or a Teams meeting, on a Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
So I have some time to myself, and I'm always in the morning just getting my daily bonuses and just playing a few games. And I like it because I just love card games, and I know it's not a real card game. I actually am really, really craving some actual Yu-Gi-Oh, in-person Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm dying for it. So Hearthstone kind of satisfies that craving. It is a very fun game, and I do enjoy it a lot. I just learned that recently that at this April is going to be the annual set rotation. And they're going to introduce a core set to Hearthstone now. Where initially there was just the classic set, which I guess is kind of how you see traditional core sets in Magic and all that stuff. But so the classic set is always allowed in standard. So you always have access to the classic set, and I think they're called the basic set, which is just the free cards that you get when you join the game, like the free to play cards. So apparently they were talking about how there was going to be a big rework, and now they are saying that you get to keep all those cards, but now they're going to introduce a core set, which is also free to. It's free to everybody when you if you join Hearthstone, and it's going to incorporate classic cards that have been like banned or as they call Hall of Famed, basic cards too. Like they're just kind of like taking just a whole bunch of. I think it's like a 235 card like core set.
Oh wow.
That will change every year and like rotate around. And they are going to introduce cards with changes and alterations, nerfs and buffs, as well as just brand new cards. So it's actually a very exciting time for Hearthstone that they're actually going to introduce this. And I think even for newcomers, it's great that you're just going to get like a gigantic free set of cards.
Absolutely, yeah. I was going to say that just pumps in a lot of new content to the game.
Oh yeah. Because I'll be honest, if anybody, and Corey, I think you're familiar with Hearthstone enough. Like when you first start the game and you get like the basic set, like the basic set is very bad. It's great for newcomers to know how to play the game, but like any other game, like all the cards of it, like most of the cards are horribly power creeped and are just like rarely ever seeing any like meta relevance because they're like the cards that come out in the core and like the main sets every year are just better cards. And even the classic set has just good cards that you play. So I think it's cool that they're going to introduce this core set that's going to just kind of like revamp the entire system. So that's pretty exciting.
It is, yeah.
And so besides that, I actually did not get a chance to play more Doom Eternal. I'm really close. Again, like I said, I just want the BFG, or as I call it, the big flipping gun. I just want that so bad so I can start like blasting some demons in the head. That's going to be a good time. But I did get back to playing a little bit more of Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair. And yeah, I mean, you know, same stories last time. The game is still great. I'm really enjoying it. I love the overworld. I love the level design. I actually just played a level that was basically like a sawmill themed level. And I have to admit, it was actually really kind of challenging. Like not to the point where the level was like unbeatable, but like all of the little twists and turns and all of the like secrets that you can get, they actually are pretty challenging when you try to get them, because all it takes is you. Because like there's boxes in the world that you can just break with your normal attack, and if you do, you get like, it's kind of like you get like a coin, but they're called they're like the little feather plumes, whatever. It's kind of like the in-game currency, but like, you get them when you break boxes. So in a way, you're normally encouraged to break boxes, but you can also use these boxes to platform around. And there are times where you'll just be like running, kind of like when we're playing Donkey Kong Country, and you just you get like a nice rhythm going, and you just like, kind of flow through the level, and you don't really think about where you're going, as besides like just dodging enemies. So there's times where like I'm playing Yooka-Laylee and I'm just kind of going through the level and I'm breaking boxes as I go along, and it's like, oh no, wait, there's a ledge up here, and I needed that box to get up there, and these boxes just don't respawn. So unfortunately, if you want to get all the little secrets and collectibles, you then have to realize, crap, I have to either die or just restart the level. You know, or just beat the level and come back later and remember that you can't just break everything, or even kill enemies. There's even some times where there'll be an enemy spawned, and if you jump on the enemy, it'll give you like that like extra little bit of airtime to reach a ledge. So if you kill them preemptively, then it's like, well, crap, now you can't actually use them as a platform. And this part actually got me kind of mad. The game is designed so that way, if enemies touch hazards like spikes or something that obviously hurt you, the world's hazards kills bad guys. So there was a time where like I think you have to like navigate this bad guy to be like in this area for you to jump on him and get up high enough to reach this area. Well, if you like don't get there in time, he'll just walk off the edge and fall into it. I think, and he'll like touch spikes that are like on like the nearby wall, and he just dies. Like he will not respawn. So it's almost like, you idiot, why did you walk into a wall of spikes? But again, it's just how the game. It's just video games. That's just how it is. Oh man, that's funny. But what else was I gonna say? I had something else to say about Yooka-Laylee. It was that. No, I think that's it. The game's just, again, like I said, very fun. Gonna keep playing it. Gonna keep enjoying it. I guess finally, we did wrap up Donkey Kong Country last week, so that game, that game was a lot of fun. I'm gonna get the last couple episodes uploaded onto Level With Me on YouTube for everyone to watch. Along with Corey's gonna be uploading more No More Heroes. I'm sure we'll hear more about. I'm sure we'll hear more about that. And a bit of a teaser, we did start playing a game and recording a new game, at least a game for me, and Corey's watching. So I'm not going to spoil it, but I think by the end of the week we'll probably have an episode or two uploaded. So then you guys will see that. But I will give you a bit of a spoiler. It is a 2D Metroid game Let's Play. So you guys have that to look forward to. And but yeah, I think that's it for me, Corey. How about you? What did you watch and play this week?
Alrighty. So in terms of watching, the only really thing I have to say is I've been continuing watching that anime I started last week, Darling in the Franxx. Overall, I'm only a few episodes in. I think I'm like 6 episodes into it, so not really that far. I want to say the total is like 24 or 26 episodes. But it's fine. I'm not that into it, but like I said, it's still pretty early in the series. The characters to me are honestly just a little bland and boring. The mech designs, I'm not really feeling them that much either. I'm mostly there for kind of just the world and kind of just figuring out what's going on there and like the story with some of the other characters. But I was just surprised. I usually enjoy most of the media I consume, but hey, every once in a while, sometimes I'm like, this is okay, or this isn't sticking with me, but I want to see this through because I'm a fan of Studio Trigger's other works. I love Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, so I do want to see where this is going. But I have heard from people that it kind of doesn't end that great, so I hope that's not really influencing me here. But I'm just saying how I feel right now, so I don't really think that is influencing me. But yeah, I'll keep watching that.
Nice. Besides
that, in terms of games I've been playing, like Mike just previously mentioned, we got to sit down and play some more No More Heroes. Mostly what we did in that episode is we did a little bit of grinding to get the money to go to our next assassin, who was Shinobu. And we ended up fighting her as well as making our way through the high school. There's some fun antics there with a bunch of high schoolers wielding tiki torch. They weren't even tiki torches. They're really like cavemen torches with just a stick and a flame. The common item you find in every high school classroom. Also, there's a good bit where at one point the sprinkler systems go off, and Travis literally turns into like a Looney Tunes character as he like waddles throughout the hallway. Oh yeah, it's big laughs.
And I completely forgot about that scene. So when I saw it again, it all came back to me. I'm just cracking up watching it.
But basically, I mean, you guys will... No, you go watch the Let's Play and figure out what happened.
Yeah, of course. We're not going to tell you about it. We're going to spoil it. You go watch it for yourself and laugh.
And if you guys need to know where to find that, Level With Me on YouTube. Be coming out very, very soon. Just was editing the episode, actually. But that was cool, man. Shinobu, really cool boss. Really like that character. I know she returns in other No More Heroes games. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite games. I'm really enjoying that LP. But other than that, yesterday I actually finally stormed the beaches of Twitch again, as I did one of my first live streams in probably a few months now.
So excited.
And with that time, I decided to take a look at Apex Legends. They just released their newest season, as that other article was just talking about, Season 8. I believe it's called Mayhem. They added a new legend. His name is Fuse. He's like this Australian guy with like a robotic arm. He's kind of like, I think he's supposed to be like a celebrity, so he's like kind of very cocky. His abilities, he has a lot to do with like, he's like a very offensive legend. I think he's able to hold like more grenades than other legends. He has like some sort of like little special like hand grenade he kind of shoots out. And then I think his like ultimate ability is he shoots like this barrage of like flames that come out of the sky. Didn't really get to see a lot of him. They also added like a new gun, and they changed up the original map, Kings Canyon. They again like tweaked it a little bit. And I I mean, all I'm going to say is I was just really fresh into it. I only really got to play for about an hour and a half yesterday. It seems really cool. I still really dig Apex Legends, and like I said earlier, it is still my favorite Battle Royale. I liked so far what I played, but I still need to experience, playing against and with the new Legend, trying that new weapon. I did pass by it a few games, but I'd actually like to, use it and see how it performs. Other than that, they added more cosmetics, obviously. And one of the other new things that they added to the game is they added a new attachment. It's the Golden Heavy Mag. So in Apex Legends, all the pieces of like attachments you get for your weapons are like color-coded loot, like white, blue, purple, and gold usually. There actually aren't really a lot of gold items. They're like the highest rarity. So usually with magazine upgrades, all it does is simply increase the amount of bullets per each of your magazine. But with the Golden Heavy Mag, it actually will just take all your ammo out of your inventory, so you basically never have to reload. So it will make any like LMG you have almost like an infinite, you never have to reload it, so you can just unload into people nonstop. And I actually got hands-on with, I did manage to find one of those things, and it was pretty brutal, especially on like the Spitfire heavy machine gun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it seemed like a really good upgrade. And I honestly haven't been following a lot of Apex Legends. Like, I know they'll remove attachments and bring them back, or they'll adjust them. So I can't tell you every new attachment they added or like what they took away. Sometimes they'll even take weapons out of the rotation and add other ones, or I don't know a lot about that stuff because I haven't really been playing that much. But overall, I've been enjoying myself. I probably am going to play more of that in the future. I also played a bit more of Cyberpunk 2077. I actually played a lot of that game. On Sunday, I literally just woke up and just sat on my couch and played that game for probably 4 or 5 hours straight. It was really nice.
Interesting.
But what I ended up doing is I kind of ended up just grinding a lot of side quests in this desert area of the map. So in Cyberpunk, you have your Night City main area, but then there's also a little bit of the outskirts of the city, which, like I said, I think Night City is supposed to be like Los Angeles or some Californian city, like one of those big metropolitan cities. So then the outskirts is kind of like that deserty, wastelandish area. If any of you are familiar with California or not Utah, I was going to say Nevada, that kind of area. And hang on, let me look through my notes here. So there was a lot of interesting things. It wasn't just all a desert. Something that I thought was kind of neat and also horrifying at the same time is there was one section of this outskirts area where there are just mountains of trash and debris. It is the horrible realization that, yes, humans just make too much trash, and especially things that we can't recycle that quickly. I'm looking at all these plastic things that just kind of just sit in the water or take thousands of years to decompose. But yes, there was just this whole section of the map that is just that. It is just a sea of trash, and there's a little bit of road, and there's a few little buildings around there. There's some blown out cars and buses where of course there's some sort of gangs holding up in there, and you go in there, clear them out, and get your little box of goodies. I thought that was cool and interesting. Although I guess it's been done before, but it makes sense. It's this dark or cyber future, whatever. While I was doing all these side missions, there wasn't really much of note there. The main side missions are mostly just hey, there's gang area, go clear them out. So it's generally oh, there's 5 enemies here, and then the different types of enemies will vary. So occasionally there'll be snipers, maybe sometimes there's drones, or maybe mechs. But one of the side missions was pretty cool, where I ran into this guy who I think he stole this advanced technology, and he basically kind of had this half mech suit, and he was actually really fun to fight. Although the fight, I pretty much just cheesed him, where I just got on the roof of this tractor or trailer park, mobile home, whatever you call those, And he just really couldn't shoot me. He was just kind of stuck somewhere, and I just would like pop out every once in a while and just like shoot him in the head, then go back when he started shooting me and shoot him in the head again, and rinse and repeat for about 5 minutes, and eventually I killed him. Gotta love video games that you can cheese them like that.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, so with how I've been playing Cyberpunk, it's kind of like a Fallout type RPG where you can kind of like, you know, spec your character to be mostly either like a stealth build or maybe more of like a guns blazing build. I was playing a lot of Cyberpunk with this stealth build, and I'm starting to hit like almost like I think 50 hours in the game. So I was getting a little tired of the stealth build, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to start like changing up my gameplay to make this game more interesting. So something that I think is pretty fun in Cyberpunk is I actually like the melee combat in the game. So I just got a really good katana and started just kind of like running around. I was almost basically like a ninja, I guess, because I was being a little bit stealthy, but I would just run in there and do like little katana combos on people. I was slicing dudes' head off. I was cutting their arms off. It was fun, man. I was enjoying it.
Nice.
But yeah, with that being said, like overall, I've been having a better time with Cyberpunk. I hope I don't burn myself out with doing all these side missions, because there are a lot of side missions. It does kind of bum me out a little bit, because I have heard from The Witcher 3 that a lot of side missions there were really interesting and cool. And it is kind of sad that, like I was saying, a lot of them are just like, oh yeah, there's a couple dudes here, go clear them out. I have been following some side missions where there's actually like a character, and I'm doing like stories. Specifically in this desert area, there's this girl named Pan Am, I think is her name. And in the desert area, they're like the nomads who live out there. There's basically like different types of people. Nomads are almost kind of like somewhere in between like a redneck and like, I don't even know what I would call, like, I don't know, like they're basically like they want to detach themselves from like all the like big corps and like a lot of the cyber like enhancements and stuff like that. So these nomads kind of just live in like little tribes on these outskirts of this like these big corporation technology cities. So she's a part of one of those, or she used to be a part of one of the nomad gangs, but she's kind of like a side character that you can do quests for, and it's kind of looking like maybe you can romance her. I was getting a little frisky the last time I was hanging out with her in game. I touched her thigh, but she's like, you. And I was like,
I'm telling Megan.
Dang. Well, Megan was sitting right next to me when it was happening.
Okay.
But I think that's pretty cool. I like that kind of side mission. I don't know if there's other characters like in Night City. Night City is so like dense. There's like so much going on there. I'm sure that exists in there, but right now I just found this Pan Am girl, and I think she's cool. I like her story that's going on besides of course, the sexual thing. She's interesting and cool, so I want to see her story through. But yeah, I've been enjoying playing Cyberpunk, despite all the bugs. Literally, my game also just crashed while I was playing it. I forget what happened. There were so many bugs, Mike. Oh my goodness. One time I jumped off, or I hit like a ramp I was riding around on a motorcycle, and my motorcycle kind of fell on a fence, and literally I was just floating in the air for about like 15 seconds, and then I eventually started like slowly falling down, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna get off the motorcycle. And luckily, it just put me on the ground, and the motorcycle fell. But I was like, oh, that's a fun one.
Interesting.
When I was in Night City, I had to like go underground and clear out this like hidden gambling / arcade rig. And there were a lot of people in there. And I think just because it was such a dense area of all these people, there were bad guys and also just like innocent NPCs. And they were like all running around, and there was like all the arcade machines, and they have like their own like little animation and lights. I think there was just way too much going on for the game. So a lot of those NPCs were just straight up T-posing, which I thought was hilarious. They would T-pose and then like a second later go to like whatever their natural posing is, but that was funny to me. And then I think I mentioned this already, but I just had a straight up like hard crash where I don't remember what I was doing, but my PS4 just blue screened, and it's like, oh, an error occurred. Luckily, I didn't lose like any progress in the game, but I was like, oh well, that's funsies. Although I've had hard crashes like that on other games, not just Cyberpunk. But I digress. Yeah, that's Cyberpunk on the PS4. Last but not least, I have one more thing to talk about. I played a little bit more Destiny 2 and Overwatch with Abra. I need to hit him up. I think he might be uploading that stuff over at a channel, but I'm not sure exactly where that is. I'll let you guys know in the future when I know. But anyways, I also wanted to check out Black Ops Cold War. They actually just released a brand new Zombies mode map. It's called Firebase Z. It's actually really cool. It's set in Vietnam, and the map is divided into 2 separate parts, and you kind of go like back and forth through a teleporter. The one part is kind of like a little like town city, and then the other part is like this more like big open area. It almost reminds me of like some sort of like lab or military testing area. There's a lot of interesting like building structures there. It seemed pretty cool. With this new map, they added some new enemies. So now they have these mimic enemies. So in Black Ops Cold War, you can actually get like, you know how in the zombies mode in Call of Duty back in the day, there would be like power-ups where it's like the insta-kill and stuff like that, where it's like a floating thing. Well, well, that's still in the game. But then there's also these like objects that are like basically just kill streaks, but they kind of look like that. So it'll be like a mini floating helicopter, and that's like a chopper gunner. Or there'll be like a mini little sentry gun, and you can actually just put that sentry gun around somewhere. They're like really good power-ups because it's essentially a kill streak in the zombies mode. Well, what these mimics do is you will see this power-up from a distance, and you can actually tell that it's a mimic because instead of it being like a orange highlight around the kill streak, it'll be like pink or purple or pink, whatever. And then once you get up to it, this mimic zombie creature spawns. And I feel like you guys got to look this thing up because it's not really a zombie. It almost looks more like an alien creature. It is probably like 7 to 8 feet tall. I want to say it's got like tentacles coming out of its back as well as like hands, like humanoid hands, like claws. And then it kind of like runs at you, and its head is like glowy. And if it gets to you, so it has like a basic attack, like it'll just like slash at you with the tentacles and its hands. But it can also like do some sort of like grapple attack where it grabs you and attacks you, and that does a lot of damage. And they also have a lot of health, so you gotta look out for those guys. I think they can also just spawn as well, like as you progress throughout the zombies, like as the waves get farther and longer and harder. So they're pretty tricky. They also have the return of the Hellhounds. So in the original Cold War Zombies map, they don't have Hellhounds, they have Plague Hounds. And they're basically the same thing, but when you shoot them, instead of fire, it's like poison gas for a little bit. With the Hellhounds, they seem to be a little bit faster, and then basically when you kill them, they're almost like a Molotov cocktail, like they explode like a little pool of fire that can hurt you, but it can also hurt zombies. And you can actually get kills by strategically shooting the Hellhounds and having the zombies like run into the fire. It'll deal damage to the zombies, which is kind of interesting. And then last but not least, they added a new large heavy zombie, and I forget the name of this guy, but he's like he's tied into the story of this zombies map, but he's got like armor all around him, and he kind of has like, I think he has like 2 or 3 different type of projectile attacks, and then when he starts to get his health really low, he kind of gets like Wolverine style claws, and he'll kind of like chase you down. So he's pretty tricky, but when you naturally defeat these like tougher zombie enemies, they do generally drop like better stuff, because you actually now in zombies, when you kill things, you will get drops from them, and that can be like ammo, armor pieces. Sometimes you can get the like special abilities like insta kill and stuff like that. And like that heavy guy, he'll drop like special items that you can use to craft other items around the zombies map. There's a lot of Easter eggs they always put in all these zombies game or the zombie modes. I don't know what all the pieces of the things do, but it does interest me.
That's pretty neat.
Something else that they added to this zombies map, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if this is the first time they did this, but to my knowledge it is there's actually NPCs on the zombies map. And how this works is they actually have their own zombie-proof glass, I guess. So basically, you walk up
Okay.
to like a window, and there's just a dude in there, and you're like, "What the heck?" There's never been like just other people, unless it's a player. There's no other like human NPCs in zombies modes. So you walk up to them, and it's kind of neat because they'll like tell you like a little bit about themselves, and kind of it's almost like that's how the story of the zombies map works. Is you kind of go talk to this one guy, and then once you activate the power in this level, the other guy kind of appears, and the one guy is trying to help you, while the other guy almost seems like he's like the villain, or like the guy who maybe created all these like things on the map that spawned all this chaos of the zombies and the weird mimic creatures. And I didn't get too far in the map, so I'd like to know more of that dynamic. But like the first guy you meet, I think he's got like a Russian accent. He's like, "Oh, go turn on the I can't do a Russian accent. He's like, "Oh, go turn on the power." And you have to like you have to go through the teleporter and go to the second part of the map. And they actually did another cool thing where usually in zombies mode, all you do to turn on the power is you just find the power switch and you press, X or whatever and flip it. In this mode, there are actually like 3 different like generators around the map, and you have to activate them and then like defend like the little these little things that like power it up, and like the zombies can attack those, so you have to like fight them off. It's fun. They're basically like really making this different and unique as opposed to other zombies map, which I like. I think it's really interesting and cool. They also added a new perk. I don't think this has been in any other zombies game, but it could have been because I didn't play every zombies map. But the perk, what it'll do is if you go downed in zombies mode, you can spawn as like this like hell human, or I forget how they put it, but it's basically you as the player, and you have your guns, but I don't think you can shoot them. But then you also have a very low amount of health, so you can essentially go and revive yourself with this ability, or you could essentially die if you get hit by. It's kind of like a risk reward type of thing. It seems interesting. I'm kind of digging it, but I don't know how useful it is yet. And there's also a new wonder weapon. They always add a new like big special weapon you can get out of the mystery box. I don't remember the full name of this thing, but it's basically like if you took an AK-47 and combined it with the ray gun. So it's like an automatic like ray gun assault rifle type thing. And
Okay.
I'm a big fan of any AK-47 in any video game that you can have one. So I was completely down immediately. I'm like, this thing's badass. It looks super cool. And naturally it was really good. And I pack-a-punched that shit, and it was awesome. So yeah, overall, I think this is a really cool map, and it was a completely free update. You didn't have to pay for this. Just new content they put into the game. I really enjoyed it. I definitely need to play more of it. I only played 1 round of it, but I wanted to check it out because it's something new to talk about on the podcast, and it also obviously interests me. So that was a lot of fun, and that is going to finally wrap up my week.
That is quite a week, I'll tell you that. Much more exciting than mine.
But with that being said, we are now going to head into the final segment of our podcast, where we are going to take some questions from you, the listener. Now, you have 2 ways of doing this, folks. You can either go to Level With Me, or you can send an email question at levelwithmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our Instagram, Level With Me Podcast. Each word has a underscroll in it, and you can like DM us a question, or on the day that we record the podcast, which is Tuesday, we'll put up a little questionnaire, and whatever form of question you send us, we will give you a shout out, whether it be an email or from the Instagram. We'll give you whatever a shout out. And the questions, they can be about video games, they can be about collectibles, they could be about movies, they could be about really anything. We just like to do it because it's fun and kind of builds like a little community. But with that being said, I checked the Gmail, and spoiler alert, is completely empty. Mike, is the Instagram. Do we have any questions there?
Yes, we have one question. This comes from D Legend, and his question is, what's your favorite non-Yu-Gi-Oh video game? And D Legend is actually someone else that I also know over at the Collector's Vault on Instagram. So I think it's why he's more of the Yu-Gi-Oh kind of a guy. But yeah, what is our favorite non-Yu-Gi-Oh video game? Which basically just means what is our favorite video game?
I was gonna say that's pretty vague. I mean, that's pretty much just whatever.
I know, because like don't get me wrong, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but the video games, well, there are a few okay good ones. Oh wait, he actually just messaged me and just says, "Wait a minute, that was a lame question. I'm so sorry." What are the good timing?
Yeah, what are the odds?
Here, let me see it. While we're here, I'm gonna say
live.
Yeah, do you want to revise the question?
That's the word I was looking for. Live revisions on the Level With Me podcast.
I'm not gonna lie. I was literally checking my phone because it buzzed, and it was him sending it to the Instagram. We did not
plan this. That just happened. That's crazy.
That is funny. Oh my goodness. I guess we can just edit this part out while we're waiting.
Well, no, I kind of wanted to have a discussion if he does respond. Let's actually take his question and kind of alter it, where he said, "What's our favorite non-Yu-Gi-Oh game?" What is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh game?
Man, I hear that Legacy of the Duels was really good.
I was gonna say that one's pretty good.
Yeah, but I remember as a kid, I think it was it was a Game Boy game, a Game Boy Advance game. Jeez, I don't remember what the heck it was called.
Mine was also a Game Boy Advance game.
It wasn't Duels of the Roses. What the heck was that game? I forget. I have to look it up probably.
Well, I'll say mine. It's the Dungeon Dice Monsters Game Boy Advance game.
I never got into There was a Dungeon Dice Monsters game for the PlayStation that was really cool, but the one for the Game Boy, I don't know. Yeah, that one was actually really sick. I mean, the rules are all over the place. I think the
one on the Game Boy Advance was super fun. I remember I literally 100% of that game. I had all the different monsters and items you can get. I love Dungeon Dice. I thought that was a really fun idea. It's a shame it kind of didn't really, yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean I think it was cool. It just never really appealed to me, which kind of stinks, you know. But here's the game. I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition. That's what it was called, and I think it was Battle City or something like that. That's kind of why I
vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing that game all the time. Oh, that was fun.
I also remember there was a good one on the DS. There might have been a few on the DS, but I remember playing a lot of there was the ones on the DS were pretty neat because I think you had your hand in the lower screen, and then you could actually drag stuff onto the field, and then on the top screen back in the day when you would summon the cards, it would actually they had these cool 3D sprites of what the monsters actually looked like, which were pretty cool. This was really old though. This was I think before even Synchro Monsters.
Yeah, probably. That's cool though. So D Legend did get back to us. So, I mean, we'll definitely include. We'll keep this question in there too.
Absolutely. It's fine.
So he says, if you could be any video game character, who would you choose?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Yeah. I actually don't have an answer off the top of my head.
I have an answer. I honestly think I'd probably be Sora from Kingdom Hearts. The Kingdom Hearts universe, it's pretty lighthearted. I like all the Disney properties. I feel like overall I'd have a pretty good time in that world. I wouldn't want to say a character like the Fallout Survivor or whatever, or even maybe Link. Link has to do the Hyrule seems like a kind of dangerous area, especially with all those Guardian. Well, I guess it depends on what Hyrule you're talking about or whatever. But I'm gonna say Sora. I'll chum around with Donald and Goofy.
Nice. To be honest, I'm not sure who I would pick. Because my favorite game character of all time is Samus, and obviously let's say I could go into be in Samus's suit, I guess, and be just like her. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I think I would really enjoy that. But man, I don't know. After watching you play No More Heroes, I think I would probably want to be Travis Touchdown, because that guy just doesn't have a care in the world. He just comes home to his apartment, plays with his cat, and watches TV and tries to hook up with Sylvia, his boss. I don't know. It looks like his life is just very carefree, almost to the point where it's I don't know. It must be nice not having to worry about. Oh, and he also lives in a world where he can just collect coconuts and get $3,000 a piece. So I hope that's a good enough answer.
I'm also like thinking like, he lives in a hotel. His rent probably isn't that much money. He's got that sick bike.
Yeah, the bike's cool. He has a beam katana. He's got that awesome hair. Like, I don't know.
When I was looking up like photos to make a thumbnail for one of the Let's Plays, I actually didn't realize this, but someone pointed out that his like bike kind of is like a reference to like the X-Wings from Star Wars, because it's kind of got the same kind of colors. Like it's got like orange and red lines. Yeah, and I was like, oh, man. Yeah, I can see that.
Man, these Star Wars references in this game are just deep.
Yeah. I think that's a good answer, though. I mean, besides, having to fight the assassins, I mean, I guess you technically don't have to do that, but I guess you'd never be number one assassin.
I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter. I just walk around, there's boxes of meatball pizza everywhere, and I can just,
find T-shirts and money and trash.
Yeah, exactly. He lives in a universe where
he lives right across from that burger place that you could go to every day.
Yeah, with the fake walls and the fake windows. Oh my gosh.
You will not be looking forward. You're going to take this answer back when we get further along and I have to do the mini game where you collect scorpions, because that is definitely a thing.
I remember that.
You're not going to like that.
I remember that. He has like the backpack and everything.
Yeah, you gotta sneak up on him and pick him up.
Yeah, that was a weird.
I vaguely remember a lot about that game.
I take it back.
Stay tuned for the Let's Play. No more heroes go some places.
Oh my lord.
Well, thank you, D Legend. That was a better question than your original one.
It's okay. I'm happy we had 2 questions to answer. That's fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know when the episode's live, and so then we can all, and then you can give it a listen.
D Legend, you get a double shout out. Thank you, D Legend, and also thank you, D Legend. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for the show this week. I am GameBro Corey. You can check me out at GameBro Corey everywhere you go. I'll be there. I'll be square. I'll be tired because I was working out too much. I don't know. Maybe I just need more coffee. That always solves the answer, right?
I'm actually shocked you didn't use coffee when you said you're low on energy. Like, just get coffee, not water. There's no caffeine in water.
I mean, I also could just snort a line of cocaine if that would work.
Yeah, but where are you? Where are you going?
All right, I'm ready to go. All right, good thing we're at the end of the podcast because now I'm ready. I'm jazzed up. I could just channel my inner what was that dude's name? Chris Farley.
Yeah, Chris Farley.
Rest in peace. I'm pretty sure he probably died from doing too much cocaine. God bless him. He is hilarious.
I'm pretty sure it was I think it was drug related. So shame on you for bringing that up.
He was a hell of a man. Hilarious. I defend him. He's great.
You know he was going to be the voice of Shrek.
You're right. Yeah, I saw the. Have you ever seen the test footage?
No,
it was unnatural. There's like a storyboard where he did like a 1 minute like read or something. It's weird.
Man,
I couldn't imagine anyone else saying donkey.
Yeah, besides Mike Myers, but I might have to look this up now.
Ogres are like onions. And we all see how Mike Myers' career blew up after Shrek. I mean, he's doing great.
To be fair, his career was doing fine with Shrek. It was the love guru that killed him.
Yeah. That's
and I'll defend it.
Also,
luckily,
sad story.
Yeah, luckily he got some more fame at the one commercial for the Super Bowl from Wayne. He brought back Wayne's World with Cardi B.
I don't know how you feel about Wayne's World, but I didn't really enjoy it. I watched it.
I never sat down. I never sat down and watched the whole movie.
I watched it like a few years ago. I'd say like maybe over 5, and like I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie, but I don't know. Like it really, something about it was not that entertaining to me. Some of the bits were kind of fun. Maybe I should rewatch it. It's been a few years, but
the thing is, it's one of those shows that was, or a movie that was a skit on SNL, and they made a movie out of it. And usually they don't tend to do very well.
Yeah, like Night the Roxbury's horrible.
Yeah, the movie really is not that good. The skits are funny, but the movie I would not recommend.
You do have a point. That's Fair point. But anyways, what were we talking about? Plugs. You can find me on Twitch, on Instagram, and Twitter at GameBroCorey. And I hope to be streaming more often. I really want to motivate myself and stream more. I enjoy doing it. I think it's a lot of fun. So please check me out on Twitch. Probably going to be playing more Apex. I do also want to get back around to Age of Calamity when I have more free time. I also really want to sit down and record more episodes of Super Mario 64. I was actually planning on doing that yesterday, but again, I just didn't have enough time. I had to do some other things around my apartment. But hopefully look forward to that in the future, because I would like to get back to those Let's Plays. What about you, Mike? Do you got some stuff you'd like to plug? Where can people find you, Mike?
Well, before I talk about that, I do like to plug in my TV into the wall. I like to plug in my phone charger. Lots of plugs.
You need that. Yeah, definitely.
All right, terrible joke aside. If you guys want to find me, you can find me at the local burger joint, because I just love burgers, because I can't eat any. Because I can't eat any.
Nailed it!
So. Or if you guys want to really find me, you can find me on YouTube and Instagram at the Collector's Vault. We'll have everything linked down below. If you guys like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything collectible related, sports memorabilia, come and talk to me. I love to talk to you guys about that kind of stuff. I try to keep everybody updated on like the more recent card market, and so yeah. If you guys want to drop by, I'll really appreciate it. Yeah, and please definitely keep in touch with Corey and his Twitch stream. I'm really looking forward to having him stream again. You guys will really enjoy it. So make sure you check out GameBroCorey.
All right, thank you everyone for listening this week. And hang on. Whoa, we have a special guest here. Who's this? Oh my god, it's the penguin from earlier! The one that Mike kicked out? Yo, what's up, man? How'd you get here so quickly?
I was gonna say, how'd he get there so fast?
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, so forget everything I just said about where you can find me. You can find me in an igloo with this guy. I think we're gonna go get like a sardine light. We're just gonna chill out.
He's probably asking where his mother is.
Well,
don't throw him off the edge. like you normally do.
It's not gonna be a good time for this penguin, guys. All right. See you guys.